Good people, what's going on? It's Nigel the Slick Pastor with yet another exciting edition of Life Lessons from Life. So we are picking up from where we left the last episode when I was talking about the financial issues I had, debt, depression, contemplating suicide and mental health issues and stuff like that. So when I left off last time, ndaistanangura nyaya yekuti ukasagona kudzidza from whatever has happened in your life, you are bound to find yourself in the same position the next time. So a lot of us just think kuti akana chinhu chaitika changoitikawo, but a lot of times we fail to be accountable and to take responsibility of the things that we have actually caused in our lives. So ndataura nyaya yekuti ndazobuda kana papa ndabatira vanhu mari dzavo ndaita sei ndaseya nazo ndakutorarama life yangu zviri free, a taste of freedom after so many months of struggle, after so many months of just living from day to day with a lot of pressure. Enjoy life yangu. Part of the reasons that helped was that it was also during that time that I started working with a comic pastor. So now remember, I had started content creation 2017 in April, but I had not really monetized or commercialized my whole creative process and stuff like that. And then I met him, who actually started teaching me the business aspect of this, to start to realize that it's something I could actually generate an income out of. And so just waking up every day, looking forward to making a video, looking forward to creating content, looking forward to having business deals, to having business meetings, started adding value to my life, started adding meaning, started to add more purpose and feel like I'm doing something with my life. So a whole new chapter I'm enjoying. Maria guys, remember a very long period since I felt what it feels like to earn money, to make your own money. But one of the lessons that I want to just point out before I even go further is the fact that a lot of us believe that our money problems will instantly be fixed by having more money. Right? Like you feel good right now, you're under pressure because you're $100 a month. So you're on 200, you're on 300. My problems are. That's the belief I always had since I was young. So I always believed that I never acknowledged that matamziko anga ari kuya because handisikushanda nebudget. Ndinongoti yandabata ndorova kana kuti yobhadhara zviripo, handiplanire mangwana. I don't save. Handina mari yandinoisa paside. So I always believed that my money problems were caused by the fact that I didn't have enough, which was not entirely true. What I realized was that managing money is way, way more important and even much harder than making it. So managing money is an absolute necessity. Like, I know kuti munhu wese izvi anenge achiona vanganonga chingofunga kuti wakani yangu ishoma but inoda kumanejwa. And even Bible rine principle rekuti he who is faithful with little shall also be faithful with much. So how you handle the little that you have is a reflection of how you would handle much if you had it. So kune mumwe munhu anongofila kuti hii 100 ka handongoidya however handidya. But kana ya million ndogona kunyatsoiplanira kuti 100,000 ndoinvesta, 100,000 ndoexpenda nemhuri yangu, 200 ndotenga imba. But trust me, if you are not planning with the 10 you have, you'll not plan with the 1,000, you'll not plan with tens of thousands, you'll not plan even with a million. So that's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, because this is what then happened. Life yakufamba, income, revenue is now starting to come in. My YouTube channel was now monetized. I'm doing MC gigs, I'm doing adverts and stuff, I'm doing events. So Maria kupinda and I to enjoy life. But still, I didn't quite learn the lesson from last time because I was spending money anyhow. And then I even bought my first car in a space of, I think, 6-7 months from the period that I was in trouble, right? But the mistake I made was kutenga moto yangu. But part of the payment was in form of debt, because part of it, the FNA was paid this in certain installments, which I thought was fine because, well, so I'm not going to have any issues. Then boom, time ya farm. Corona happens, my lockdown over atanga. Money is not coming in as it used to. I'm falling back into that same trap. Yekuti, the person I was owing money, and then because now this person is giving me pressure, like what I mentioned the very, very first time, when you're now under pressure, you go and get money from this one on interest terms. And it watora mari ine interest. Kuti uvhare uyu munhu umpe mari yake, then wapedza naye but uchazoda kudhila neuyu. But remember, to wakudhila nayo uri kuti azonetsa. It's another shit. Right. So remember, you're taking money from somebody or some place which has any interest. And probably by the time you charge your so you will find that maybe you were owing $1 when you started, but because you had to borrow that $1, which has $2 to pay off the $1, you're now owing $2 where you were owing, and wakurwa compound interest tanga kuwanda, and then pasina kufamba time yakawanda, you find yourself in trouble. You find yourself in the exact same spot. So that's the problem I'm finding myself in. And you know, the biggest challenge of finding yourself in the same position or in the same problem is that it's way harder to ask for help. Because you know, the first time something happens, you know, people say, it's a mistake. Maybe they didn't really think it through. He's learning. Let's just help him out. And then the moment something happens the second time, kuti uchidzokera futi kuvanhu vaya uchitaura kuti guys, inini munongondiziva. Ndizvo zvakare zvazoitika this time around. It becomes, hi Baba.
Hi.
Good.
All
right.
Uri celeb?
Yeah, not really. Not really.
I want.
Oh. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Noted. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh. All right. Great. That's great. That's nice. That's nice. All right. Thank you, Baba. Thank you so much. I did. I really nani zvaro. Yeah. Tiri kungotry tichenda. Yeah. I did. Thank you so much, Baba. Thanks a lot. All right, Baba. Sharp. So it becomes very, very hard. So you shove it in. Unoramba wakanyarara uchitry kubatanidza. And that's just generally the trend when people are going through financial difficulties. A lot of people don't speak up because some people just feel that it's embarrassing kuti vanhu vazoti ndikunetsekana ndikushaya mari handisiku, you know, vanhu vanozondiona sei, vanhu vanozoita sei, so vanhu vanoramba vakanyarara achitry kusunganidza, and dzimwe nguva pakutry kusunganidza unenge uchisunganidza uchishandisa method isiriyo. You get it? So a lot of people are out there struggling every day. They are sinking every day. They are drowning every day. Vatonyatsoona kuti kwandiri kutoenda hakudzokeke, but they just can't shout for help. So that's the position I found myself in yet again. So it became worse and worse. Now I'm becoming more withdrawn from activities. Maskidzi urutotry kuita uchitotsekesa vanhu vachitoona ivo toti rutonakidza, uchitoenda kumameeting uchitoita mari. Like what I was saying, making money does not necessarily solve your money problems, but managing it, and even managing a crisis. Accept out, all right guys, pana parudiwa 40,000 guys, handina ndinogona kukupai 2,000 pamwedzi for the next 20 months. Ndo zvandinokwanisa. And once that is out there in the open and you have to deal with it and people have accepted it, waparibo. But the fact yekuti unongochidza vanhu kuti ndokupai mangwana, ndokupai next week, Ndokupai, you're constantly under pressure, and that's how I was living my life. Until again, zvazooneka, people around start noticing kuti munhu ari under pressure, munhu ari chii, then wakudzima foni, hauchabatike. Now those thoughts start crossing your mind again, kuti life is not worth living because of the problems I found myself in. Now it's a double problem. It's a financial problem, it's a social problem. Yekuti wakufunga kuti so kuti vanhu vazive futi kuti ndo zvandiri mazviri, saka vanobvuma here kundibatsira. Chero vakandibatsira, they will always think of me as a failure. And even zvikapera, they will always think kuti I'm going to find myself back again in the same situation. That's how I was feeling. So when you're going through depression, when you're fighting anything, anxiety, stress, when you're having these panic attacks, mental health issues, even sometimes when people try to reach out to you to help you, when people try to love you, you will always feel like, no, murukungodaro guys, good, things are going to get better because you don't understand my situation. You are not in my shoes. You are not in my phone. You don't know the kind of pressure I'm feeling, which may be true. But also what is true is that there is always hope. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark it may seem, no matter how dangerous things seem. Listen, kana watopinda muproblem iyoyo, the longer you are kutogara imomo, is the more you're actually building the strength to survive it. So if it didn't kill you the first day, there are less chances that it's going to kill you on the second, if you only see it in that perspective. So somebody might actually say, all right, so it's not Zopera says no. The greatest takeaway that I take from both the lessons I learned is that you need a support system. Ndinotyira munhu anotamba ega anoti ina handina shamwari. I understand where you're coming from because some have been betrayed by people and stuff like that. But you need a network. You need 2 or 3 family members or relatives or cousins or friends or colleagues or partners that you trust, that you can count on, that you can tell something, and people who go out of your way to help you. Because that's what people around me started doing. I saw people making sacrifices just to see me out of the situation, to get me back to my normal state. Coming past, he didn't sleep, he didn't rest, trying to make sure that he helped me out of the problem that I was in. Sometimes he would sacrifice his service for just to deal with the problem that was there. Running up and down. You need people like that in your corner, because the moment you start seeing people making such sacrifices for you, the next thing that's going to happen is you start realizing that your life is worth living, because if somebody feels that it's worth fighting for, if somebody else is fighting for it, then you also should. So having the right system and having the right network of friends is something I count to be of great priority in life. For any moment that you will go through, good or bad, you're going to need a strong network of people around you. So the lessons that we can take from these 2 chapters, from these 2 episodes, ndataura zvakawanda. Ndataura nyaya yekuti managing money is way more important than making it. Ndataura nyaya yekuti you need to have a good network of people around you. You need to pray. You need to admit when things are not going well. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be truthful, even to people around you who are concerned by the matter. I mean, let's say you are owing someone. To be the moment you are honest enough to say, I do not have this amount of money right now. I thought I would have it, but I am honestly struggling to get this amount of money right now. And you know yourself that you are speaking your truth, because but you know that you are speaking your truth. And you know the next time you are $10, the next time you are $20, is actually the start of your journey going out. And then the next lesson is also stop digging. If you find yourself in a pit, the first stop is stop digging. Because sometimes we keep digging, but you don't realize that it's actually getting deeper. So there are billions of lessons. I would also want you to share the lessons that you have picked from this episode and the previous regarding money, mental health, depression, and even issues of suicide. So I hope you have found this worthwhile. I hope you have enjoyed watching and listening to this episode. And until we meet again in the next edition of Life Lessons from Life, Komborero Inash.